So what we're doing also on this side of the car is I'm working on the wind lacing, getting it ready for the driver's side wind lacing to go in. So what I like to do on these is on these Tri-5s, this particular car, when it was assembled, these pieces just didn't fit very good. They were way out of line and alignment. So I've made some solid oak pieces with a tab on it that will go up in here to follow the curve of the dash. And then I will actually staple my wind lacing to that and then staple it all around. This cover here is screwed on. The wind lacing will go under it. This will come back on, be screwed back on. And then our headliner will come over and tuck and under, very similar to a stock piece. I've just made new ones to fit the car a lot nicer and cleaner. And then we'll staple down through here and it'll have all those covers. And then our headliner, this final piece here, will be upholstered in a ring of leather, and that will be attached to this inner lip. This whole panel will be screwed in place, and then the leather will come over and tuck up and under between this wind lace retainer, I guess is the best way of calling it, and the actual wind lacing. It'll be a nice tucked fit. We'll pad this area here, sand it all down, blend it in so the material will pull. And I have the windshield actually ready to set out, so all of our leather will tuck and under and glue in under the rubber, and then we'll put new rubber and glass in it. And we've made these back panels back here also, so the headliner will come and just follow that nice line, and then the post cover will tuck up and under and give me a clean line there and be held on along here on both sides. So that's kind of where we are right now on this. We have the base of the headliners done, other than the wiring for the LEDs. And then these moldings, we've made the first one. It still has to be chrome plated, but these will go in. I've drilled and tapped them. I've got some slotted holes up in here. These will actually go in after they're plated and press in place and slide into those slotted holes, and then be trimmed to fit around the actual dome light. And then we'll send these out and have them chrome plated. So that's kind of where we are on this right now. And then also we're working on it's kind of a multi-purpose fit thing, but so the driver's side kick panel is I got to do some final trimming and fitting on it to allow for the thickness of the leather and what will end up being the carpet padding and the carpet. And then all of that will tie together, and then the screws, it'll actually be held on with screws, but I'll have a magnetic cover that'll hold over the screws so that none of the screws will actually be showing. Welcome back to the controlled chaos. So, we've been working on the headliner. We got the actual outer piece sewn up, glued to the trim ring that goes around. So what I'm doing now is I'm doing a check fit, I guess. I'll put all the screws in it that'll hold it in place tight like it's going to go, and then we'll pull it out here all the way around it in different locations to make sure it's going to stretch and pull the way we want it to. And then if that works, then I'll take it all back out. I'll go in and foam around the window openings front and rear, and do any final check for smoothness or foam needed on the sides. We'll get all that done, sand all of that down, and then we'll start putting it all back in and hopefully start gluing it in. So that's kind of where we are right now. I call it controlled chaos. And you can see what we're dealing with. So, as I said, what we've done is we've put the halo, the headliner ring, in that has the outer piece of leather on it. You can see here how we've bolted it in all the way around. So the leather is actually glued to this, and it's all one piece in a circle. And it's screwed in, and I'm checking the fit and the tightness here, make sure I had enough gap for leather and stuff. And then also what I'm checking, and this is just a preliminary fit, this is probably got to come out, but so when I pull it to where it's going to go, I want to make sure that I'll be able to pull all the wrinkles or get them at least steamed out. And so that's kind of what I'm doing now, is doing a check fit of everything. We lined up pretty decent right here. We'll have this molding that comes up, finishes all this off. But we're also going to put a little padding here so that when the leather comes in and this molding, that padding will help absorb any inconsistencies on what we're doing. So I'm going to do a check fit around the whole perimeter of everything, and then we will pull it all back out, I believe. If I can figure out how to get everything I want to do done, leaving it in here, believe me, I'm going to, because this is a lot of work. So, best case scenario, this will come out and go out, take out, put back in 1 or 2 more times till I get it just like I want it, and then we'll do the final bluing and trimming around the edges. Worst case scenario, we won't even talk about that because it won't be a good day. Anyway, stay tuned and we'll do a follow-up on it here in a little bit as we get further along. So, we're getting ready to start doing the final on the headliner, and so I've pulled the back glass and the windshield out and cleaned it. He was having trouble with this thing leaking, so we're going to put a whole new rubber gasket in it and seal it, reseal it and do all that. But I've been cleaning and prepping the back side of the under here because this headliner, what it's going to do is it's actually going to pull, and we'll tape all this off and we'll spray glue here and we'll mark it where the glue needs to go on the leather. So this is actually going to pull and go up like so, and then the actual rubber will come in over it, and then the molding, the interior molding, will go over it and finish off the edge. So I'm just cleaning it, getting all they had put some sealer on it and some windshield primer, just had a mess. So we're going to clean all that. I will tape it all off and actually put a new layer of clean windshield primer on here so that when we do put the rubber in the windshield in for the final time, it'll seal better. And these 55 Chevys, or Tri-5s, actually, they have these molding clips that have to go in. And what I was noticing when I was pulling these out, there's actually a recess in this 2 layers of pinch weld, and it recesses. So these clips actually have a specific place that they're really meant to go, and they just have these in random location. These look like they might be the original clips, and I'm going to save them, but I've ordered some new ones, and then we'll see which ones look and fit the best. And we'll either reuse the old ones, clean them up, or if the new ones are nice, it'll be cheaper to put the new ones on it than for my time to clean these up. So this is what we'll do. The headliner's going to pull around and tuck and glue up and under here. So what I've done, we got the headliner all put in place. We're getting ready to start stretching it. The side panels that we had here, we glued them on the back side and put them back. And then we put some 1/4 inch sew foam on it. It's got backing on one side, it's just foam on the other. And we glued that up here. We'll trim it right on the edge of our trim panel. And then back here in the back, and I've already trimmed above the doors. So along this rear window, we're just getting ready to trim it off and what that's going to do is when the material comes over, it just give a little bit of padding along the edge of our metal when we tuck it up and under there, just so it's not like a sharp edge to help keep it from wanting to rub through. So because of this leather being heavy, and I needed something, a good way to have it where I can pull it super tight before we tuck it. So we're going to be stapling it like factory stock across the rear window, and then across the back window the blue, up under the rubber area, and the same along the windshield. So we're going to be trimming this, get it fresh ready.
Yeah. So we're just going to find our edge. Now I like to trim it a little bit long. You can see our edge down here or up here, so we're going to trim it just a little bit long, just so that material can kind of roll over. Come in here a little bit long, and then I just use my finger as a guide. Pretty simple. And then see, this will just kind of roll over the edge just a little bit for when our leather goes to staple. So you've seen that we've got the headliner all trimmed out around the perimeter, rough trim. So what I'm doing now is working on the center piece of the headliner, trying to get it all final fit finished. So I've sanded the edge of the acrylic smooth, and got the LED lighting in here and trimmed out. And so what I'm going to do is extend these wires on these LED lighting, and then we have one other dome light that will go in here for the final assembly. And I'm working on the wiring, tying this LED light into these to plug into the headliner. And once we get all that done, we'll do a trial fit and just give you a little idea right quick of how bright these are going to be. These are called COB lighting. It's a newer style of LED lighting where they're so close together that you don't really notice the individual bulbs, but you can kind of see how bright that's going to be and illuminate out. So you'll have the actual headliner will be like that, and this will illuminate out around it, and that'll be part of our dome light assembly. And then once we get all that done, I'm actually going to end up using aluminum instead of this 1/2 inch brass. This brass is just going to be too heavy. So what we're going to do is get some 1/2 inch aluminum. We'll run it through the router, taper it to fit this contour right here, and it'll end up getting chrome plated, but then it'll press down in there, and we'll trim it here, and then when it's all said and done, the dome light will cover this end. And this, the way I made this to go in is I've put teardrop slots in here. So we will Loctite a pan head screw in here, and this will press in there and then slide into place. So when it's all said and done, it should finish out about like so. But these pieces will be made out of aluminum for the final time, and also chrome plated for easier maintenance. So thank you for watching and keeping up with what our progress has been on these interior in some of our other projects. And if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you next time.